Thank you for joining Wars of the Roses. As we continue with Part 11, Scandinavian Mysteries, Book 1, Ancient Mysteries from Secret Societies of All Ages, Volume 1, by Charles William Heckethorn. 10. Scandinavian Mysteries, 101, Drotus. The priests of Scandinavia were named Drots and instituted by Sigurd, a Scythian prince who is said afterwards to have assumed the name of Odin. Their number was 12, who were alike priests and judges. And from this order proceeded the establishment of British juries. Their power was extended to its utmost limits by being allowed a discretionary privilege of determining on the choice of human victims for sacrifice, from which even the monarch was not exempt. Hence arose the necessity of cultivating the goodwill of these sovereign pontiffs. And as this order, like the Israelitish priesthood, was restricted to one family, they became possessed of unbounded wealth, and at last became so tyrannical as to be objects of terror to the whole community. Christianity, promising to relieve it from this yoke, was hailed with enthusiasm, and the inhabitants of Scandinavia, inspired with a thirst for vengeance on account of accumulated and long-continued suffering, retaliated with dreadful severity on their persecutors, overthrowing the palaces and temples, the statues of their gods, and all the paraphernalia of Gothic superstition. Of this nothing remains but a few cromlechs, some stupendous monuments of rough stone which human fury could not destroy, certain ranges of caverns hewn out of the solid rock, and some natural grottos used for the purpose of initiation. 102. Ritual. The whole ritual had an astronomical bearing. The places of initiation, as in other mysteries, were in caverns, natural or artificial, and the candidate had to undergo trials as frightful as the priests could render them. But instead of having to pass through 7 caves or passages, as in the Mithraic and other mysteries, he descended through 9, the square of the mystic number 3 subterranean passages, and he was instructed to search for the body of Balder, the Scandinavian Osiris, slain by Loke, the principle of darkness, and to use his utmost endeavors to raise him to life. To enter into particulars of the process of initiation would involve the repetition of what has been said before. It may therefore suffice to observe that the candidate, on arriving at the Sacellum, had a solemn oath administered to him on a naked sword and ratified it by drinking mead out of a human skull. The sacred sign of the cross was impressed upon him, and a ring of magic virtues, the gift of Balder the Good, delivered to him. 103. Astronomical meaning demonstrated. The first canto of the Edda, which apparently contains a description of the ceremonies performed on the initiation of an aspirant, says that he seeks to know the sciences possessed by the Aesars, or gods. He discovers a palace whose roof of boundless dimensions is covered with golden shields. He encounters a man engaged in launching upwards 7 flowers. Here we easily discover the astronomical meaning. The palace is the world, the roof the sky. The golden shields are the stars, the 7 flowers the 7 planets. The candidate is asked what is his name and replies Gangler, that is the wanderer, he that performs a revolution distributing necessaries to mankind, for the candidate personates the sun. The palace is that of the king, the epithet the ancient mystagogues gave to the head of the planetary system. Then he discovers 3 seats. On the lowest is the king called Ha, sublime. On the central one, Jafuha, the equal of the sublime. On the highest, Tredie, the number 3. These personages are those the neophyte beheld in the Eleusinian initiation, the hierophant, the daducus or torchbearer, and the epibomite or attendant on the altar. Those he sees in Freemasonry, the master, and the senior and junior wardens, symbolical personifications of the sun, moon, and demiurgos, or grand architect of the universe. But the Scandinavian triad is usually represented by Odin, the chief deity, Thor, his firstborn, the reputed mediator between God and man, possessing unlimited power over the universe, wherefore his head was surrounded by a circle of 12 stars, and Freya, a hermaphrodite, adorned with a variety of symbols significant of dominion over love and marriage. In the instructions given to the neophyte, he is told that the greatest and most ancient of gods is called Alfader, the father of all, and has 12 epithets, which recall the 12 attributes of the sun, the 12 constellations, the 12 superior gods of Egypt, Greece, and Rome, Among the gods of the Scandinavian theogony, there is Balder the Good, whose story, as already hinted above, formed the object of the initiatory ceremonies. Balder is Mithras, the sun's love. He foresees the danger that threatens him. He dreams of it at night. The other gods of Valhalla, the Scandinavian Olympus, to whom he reveals his sad forebodings, reassure him, and to guard against any harm befalling him, exact an oath from everything in nature in his behalf except from the mistletoe, which was omitted on account of its apparently inoffensive qualities. For an experiment and in sport, the gods cast at Balder all kinds of missiles without wounding him. Hoder the blind, that is fate, takes no part in the diversion, but Lok, the principle of evil, darkness, the season of winter, places a sprig in the hands of Hoder and persuades him to cast it at the devoted victim who falls pierced with mortal wounds. For this reason it was that this plant was gathered at the winter solstice by the Druids of Scandinavia, Gaul and Britain, with a curved knife whose form symbolized the segment of the zodiacal circle during which the murder of Balder took place. In the Edda of Snorro, we have another legend of Odin and Freya, the Scandinavian Isis or Venus, giving an account of the wanderings of the latter in search of the former, which of course have the same astronomical meaning as the search of Isis for Osiris, of Ceres for Proserpine. One of the chief festivals in the year, as with the Druids, was the winter solstice. And this being the longest night in the year, the Scandinavians assigned to it the formation of the world from primeval darkness and called it Mother Night. This festival was denominated Yule, a corruption of the Greek word helios, the sun, and was a season of universal festivity. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment, and if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Roses. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.